y'all? That is a tune called the Reel of Rio, and it's one I've been playing for like 15 or so years. It's a big part of the Nashville Irish session scene, and it's one that I heard recently when I was over in Ireland a couple of weeks ago, or a month ago, or whenever that was. So I thought it'd be a good one to break down. It's fairly repetitive, which gives you the opportunity for some interesting ornaments and variations and all that sort of stuff. But we're going to start with, as usual, the basic melody. Let's break it down. I'm going to be using a regular D whistle. I started that on the flute, of course, but feel free to use whatever works, or if you're playing this on a different instrument, knock yourself out as well. I am doing this as a part of my deep dive series on Patreon, so if you want to go and learn some of the more advanced ornamentation and variation and all that other stuff, please do check that out. If you're just interested in sheet music and tabs, that's also available on Patreon as well. Basic melody here, though, nice and simple, starting with the A part. First section here, I'll run that again. Hopefully you got that locked down, because that is one of the fairly repetitive bits that comes a fair few times here. Here's the second section, starting from that E that we finished up on. The whole second half. We'll run that again and we'll put it all together. Just the second half though, one more time. Right, so that's the whole thing. Let's put it all together once through the A part, nice and slow. Don't worry if you got to take breaths in there. That was kind of a rather long phrase. I wouldn't necessarily play it that way altogether, but if you can, that works. Now the second half of the A part is nearly identical. It's just that very last end, the way it resolves and it finishes the phrase. So I'm going to play the whole second half of the A part, play along, and then we'll get to that end part. So here we go. Right? Again, just how that phrase ends. It's the only thing that's different about that. Otherwise, it's a fairly repetitive bit. The second section of the B part spends a fair bit of time in that upper octave, so be mindful of your hearing and the hearing of those around you. Feel free to drop the octave as you're working on this tune, but I'm going to play it up there where it belongs just so you can get an idea. So here we go, first half of the B part. Second section has a bit of a pickup note. Be mindful of that. And then the last section is really a repeat of the first half of the A part. For context, here we go. Same as how the A part wraps up there, so fairly repetitive. Let's run a whole B part all the way through, putting the whole thing in context. Nice and easy. Picked up a couple of those breathing spots. Feel free to adjust as you see fit and ultimately end up deleting notes to get a breath in there, but that's how I would do it, at least at that tempo. of rolls there, a couple of slides, lots of stuff you can do with this, and I would argue lots of stuff you kind of need to do with this to keep it interesting, because it is so repetitive, particularly with the B part wrapping up the same way the A part does. We want to find a couple of ways to make it interesting. So starting with the A part straight off the bat, a couple of cuts on those highest note in the phrase when you hit that high G. But I'm starting off with a triplet there. Hopefully you caught that. That's one where it's really good to get that C natural. That good bouncy effect you get out of that. Good roll on that G. There's a nice long note there. Anytime you see either 3/8 notes or a dotted quarter like that, good opportunity for a roll. Landing that phrase is fairly important, I would say. How do you determine the difference between we're going around again through the A part and, hey, this is something new, we're going to the B part. How you stick that landing tells some of that story. Really landing it nice and simple, or again, just kind of depends on what sort of story you're looking to tell at that particular moment, but a couple of options. Those repeating G's that we have, hopefully you heard that, at least in your head, potentially as an option when we're going through the basic melody, but a roll is a great option. Be careful, in the second octave it's way easier to break those notes than it is in the first octave, so make sure you've got some confidence in your whistle. Alternatively, short rolls, kind of cool, more punchy, a little bit more of a punchy effect. Again, with that triplet there. Good punchy sound there to give it a little bit of a rhythmic effect. Again, alternatively, sliding into those Gs. Another lower stress, lower risk option. Anything to give it a little bit of variety. So I would keep that in my back pocket as an option. Substitute it in, see what works, see what sounds good. Let me know what you think of this tune. It's a great one, and I'm working up a set over on the Patreon as well. This will be a good set to work up if you're in need of a blast of reels. That'll be part of that coming up as well. Let me know what y'all think, and I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.